A very pleasant afternoon to the San Paolo Stadium. Napoli trying to put together a strong finish to what has been, up to now, a bitterly disappointing season for them. But they have lost only one of their last 7 games, and their target, it might be an optimistic one, qualification for next season's UEFA Cup by reaching the top 7 in the table. But they've got quite a lot to do over the last 10 games to achieve that. For Bari, First Division survival, always their main priority. They need a point or two yet, but their position by no means serious. They include all of their 3 foreign players today. 2 Brazilians, Gerson in midfield and Jean Paulo, a raiding winger, and the Romanian striker Florin Raducioiu, who's 21 years old today. Napoli are still doing well in the Italian Cup. They played the semi-final first leg here against Sampdoria in midweek. They beat them by a Maradona goal to 0. Today they're still without Alamao, who has a groin strain, and Fernando De Napoli is also missing from the midfield. Rizzardi comes in to operate on the left-hand side. But it seems much more peaceful now, the Maradona situation, as though the coach Albertino Bigon has reached an understanding with him. And Maradona promises that he'll do his best to bring the Italian Cup here before, as he hopes, he departs in the summer. And he leads out Napoli. And is always a focal point for the spectators. Another focal point today, a young referee. It's a topic very much under discussion by FIFA. 34-year-old Graziano Cesare, his first season in the Italian First Division. Giovanni Galli in the Napoli goal. At the other end, it's Enzo Beato, who was signed in November and actually made his First Division debut when these two sides met in Bari. That was a goalless draw, so it was a good afternoon for both goalkeepers. Napoli defend the goal to the right in the first half. And Maradona involved straight away. Important for Bari not to get caught out in the early stages. I'm sure that will be a part of the message from their coach Gaetano Salvemini, who was the coach that steered them out of the second division in 1989. They did well to finish 9th last season. Napoli were coming late to steal the championship, Milan would say. Makopi is a key man in the centre of the defence. And here is Enzo Beato, who began as a junior with Genoa but had to wait until he was 27 to appear in the Italian First Division. Rossetto bearing the scars of previous battles, that plaster over the right eye, but inflicting the damage to Maradona's face. Crippa. He's done well, Maradona, and Bari hunting as a group. Zola. Taken up by Francini. The extra man here is Ferrara, and he goes on and looks for a gap at the near post and doesn't quite find it because Beato dropped well enough. But the first time that Bari have looked really vulnerable, and it was Ciro Ferrara who made it all happen, but possibly a little too selfish at the end with the angle against him. Maradona takes the corner, Maialaro gets to it at the near post for Bari. Zola. Careca trying to get his feet working quickly. In fact, I think his brain was working faster than his the lower part of his body, should we say. And after Careca had lost the ball, Gerson was palpably taken out. It's a famous name, of course, Gerson, from the 1970 World Cup winning team. And football names in Brazil are something of a hand-me-downs. They're passed on from generation. There has been another Careca who's played for Brazil, known as Careca 2. Doesn't make it any easier for the commentators when they play on the same side. But you're seeing Careca 1 in this match. Very confident of his own ability, close to the edge of his own area. Rizzardi not quite in the same frame of mind, and Crippa had hung onto the ball long enough to be fouled from behind. But maybe that was a measure, really, of the lack of movement that Napoli are showing. Not hard on this evidence to see why you find them down in 10th place. And what we used to be able to say about them in difficult stages in matches was that, of course, it only takes a second for Maradona to alter the picture comprehensively. Maybe one can still say the same about Careca. That's out of play. The warning signs were out back in September when Cagliari, who had just been promoted, came here and won by 2-1. By and large, Napoli have been pretty hard to beat in their own stadium. Sampdoria won 4-1 here in November, but as I said at the start, they've lost last week in the Italian Cup. And well read by Carrera. Excellent anticipation to stop Maradona opening Bari up then. And here comes Gerson, taking them on. Maialaro, faced by Corradini. Maialaro tries to place it, and it was an inventive effort that had Galli diving away to his left in some trepidation. A menacing break by Bari with the orchestrator Gerson, and Maialaro fancied his chances here and wasn't at all over-optimistic. 4 up for Bari this time. Raducioiu adding to Corradini's embarrassment. Terracere taking it up to win the corner. 5 minutes left in the first half, and the Napoli supporters not at all happy at what they're watching. Gianpaolo would be happy to shoot from here and really could have done a lot better. But here's Crippa, stirred into action. Just enough contact by Brambati, who doesn't want to give the ball away, and that's a bookable offence. by this 34-year-old referee who was right up with play. Just wants to make sure that he's not only got Brambardi's name, he's got his number as well. Crippa's free kick, and Maradona hoping to fool the referee. Maybe cash in on any inexperience. But properly the free kick given to Bari. 0-0 here on the day when Inter have a difficult match at Parma. Sampdoria also on their travels at Pisa, who need the points to get out of the bottom four. This is Maialaro for Bari, pushed out by Galli and no one on hand to follow in. Well, most of the brighter moments in this first half have come from the visiting team. And again, you have to admire the positioning of the referee, who's, without labouring the point, been one of the features of the first 45 minutes. Raducioiu, and what's the decision here? Could have been a corner, it could also be a foul by Raducioiu, and that's the way the referee did see it, in fact. Corradini. Napoli trying to put to good use the 2 minutes that remain before half-time. Maradona against Carrera. Dealt with by Loseto, though. And Maradona ending up off the pitch. Wonder whether that ankle gave way as he crossed the ball with his right foot. He just slipped away to get to the byline, but there was no sting in the cross at all. While we were checking on Maradona, Baroni in trouble for that lunge from behind on Raducioiu. Oh, and Maialaro had clearly knocked the ball out. We've got a minute to go in the first half in the San Paolo Stadium, where I have to say that the setting has been a bit more spectacular than the match between two mid-table sides, but it's close enough to retain its interest, to see whether Napoli can increase their level of performance. They'll certainly have the crowd on their backs in the second half if they don't do that, and whether Bari might get the reward of a goal from some enterprising play, although it's been carefully rationed. In fact, Bari probably haven't been able to draw Napoli out quite enough for their own liking. It hasn't been a hell for leather chase for an opening goal from the home team, and maybe that was part of the briefing by Bigon. Pareca stopped by Terracinere. As you can see, we're in stoppage stoppage time at the end of the first half. Referee playing an advantage then. Gianpaolo was fouled in the first place. Here's Brambati trying to tee up another shot for Maialaro. Colombo. Referee acknowledging the signal from the linesman, and Galli makes an excellent catch. With Brambati coming in, the goalkeeper had to be decisive then. Given the way the referee has produced the yellow card twice already, that's got to be another booking for Loseto this time. Bari put in trouble by Galli's quick use of the ball, having claimed it very decisively. So Brambati and Loseto, the two Bari players booked, and Baroni for Napoli. 3 bookings in the first half, but no goals. Beato in the Bari goal just had one awkward save to make by his near post from Ferrara. The crowd here not at all happy with Napoli's performance. Bari, though, have contributed most of the entertainment by playing well on the break. Raducioiu catching the eye, Gianpaolo, of course, and Maialaro, who towards the end of the half hit a couple of telling shots for Bari coming from a slightly deeper position. But at half-time in the San Paolo Stadium, Napoli 0, Bari 0. Alessandro Renica is out for the second half for Napoli, wearing number 13, which suggests perhaps that the coach, Vigon, was concerned enough to see how Bari were breaking with menace on a number of occasions, but a start for Bari for the second half that doesn't bode too well. The long back pass to Beato. So 45 minutes for these teams to change the picture and to hopefully not settle for what would be the second goalless draw between the two sides this season. Colombo. Ritari with that Alamao-like hairstyle. Now they're missing Alamao's drive in midfield today for Napoli. Ritari penalised. Colombo tries to rifle the free kick forward. Raducioiu and Maialaro trying to knock it back to Brambati, only puts the ball out of play. You do feel that the one really positive thing that you can say here is that the crowd itself should dictate a better tempo for Napoli, but they're looking like a side who really want the season to end. A few players out here to stand up and be counted. Crippa hasn't shirked his responsibilities. Here's Corradini. Now Maialaro. Some determined defending by Francini. Really does need an all-round improvement from Napoli in the second half. Renica, the only player out there who's absolved from criticism, having come on to replace Baroni. Oh, and the goalkeeper panicked then, when it was a really straightforward catch. It was good work on the far side by Rizzardi, and I think Vigon wanted more players in the penalty area then, and had he had them, the Bari goalkeeper might have presented Napoli with a goal. Zola unable to force a way through. Maialaro to Gianpaolo, and he skipped away from Renica. 3 up for Bari, only 2 back for Napoli, and Gianpaolo goes for glory himself. to Bari in the 3rd minute of the second half. Ferrara straining to get there. Now, what did he make contact with first of all? It was the man, and the referee who kept up with that break, defying the Napoli protests, in which Galli has a say as well, all from his point of view perhaps calculated to delay the taking of the penalty. That looked a penalty to me. And the player who earned it is about to take it. But the delay goes on. And Gianpaolo decides to re-spot the ball himself. This to put Bari in front. Oh, he saved it! And they can't follow it up. Well, it was a weak penalty. The Brazilian bottled it, really. And Galli going the right way, and Gianpaolo didn't even follow up with any great degree of conviction. It stays at 0-0. Disgust on the faces of his teammates. Galli's delighted. But Gianpaolo squanders a chance to give Bari the lead and really show up a Napoli performance that so far has been a very little credit to the club. Maialaro. Gianpaolo, 4 successful penalties earlier this season, but failing here. Foul by Maialaro. Here's Crippa. Lassetto managed to extricate himself from the difficulties. It's a layoff by Radoucioiu that was given really without looking. Maradona clips it in. That's Corradini. Corradini hoping for an improved performance firstly in the second half. He struggled in the first, and that showed that he hadn't lost his sense of commitment. He didn't shirk from trying his luck from long range. Gianpaolo backing in. Activity on the Bari bench. Well, we're 7 minutes into the second half, and already there's been far more incident than there really was in the opening 45 minutes. It's a Napoli free kick now. Taken taken by Maradona. It's a good try by Ferrara, who was backpedaling always to try and manufacture the header. He was trying to just get enough on the ball to loop it back into that far corner. With the throw, Corradini's clearance. Not too much up front for Napoli to trouble Bari, except on reputation. It's a Napoli free kick. Will they find a positive response to that let-off with a most disappointing penalty after Ferrara had conceded it? Gianpaolo doing little more than tapping it a yard or so to the right of Galli. Rizzari. Here's Colombo. Renica. Just harking back to the penalty incident, Renica was selling himself high and dry up on the halfway line as Gianpaolo got away. Trying to come to terms with the pace of the match now with his arrival at the start of the second half. He isn't the quickest player around. Been slowed by a succession of injuries over the last year. Maradona did that brilliantly. Crippa coming in behind him. For the goal was Zola. 10 minutes into the second half, and Napoli respond to the first example shown by Maradona. High-class cross from the left. Crippa went for it and missed it, but Zola got it absolutely right. And that penalty miss by Bari now looking very expensive. Napoli 1, Bari 0. And suddenly the whole atmosphere is lifted here as though clouds have been blown away. Crippa sends it forward by Carrera, who loses out to Careca. Maradona with him, but Careca goes alone. Kept it low, but the goalkeeper got a leg in the way. Maradona consoles Careca. And this could have been the match, because you can't really see Bari scoring twice. Beato spread himself and made his own good fortune, really. Zola. Crippa. And that was, what, 10 yards ahead of Maradona, and he wasn't going for it. But it was Carrera who was caught in possession by Careca. And the Brazilian strode on, didn't really look at Maradona, who was up alongside him, and was quite entitled to take the chance for himself, or try to take it. Gianpaolo. Here's Lossetto. Maialaro. It's a good, clean piece of defending by Venturin. Renica. Trying to direct the traffic. One or two of his teammates were still in first gear. Rambati winning the ball from Maradona, who got back with a good, honest approach. Although he has been penalised. Terracinere. Gianpaolo trying to make amends for his error. Maialaro. This is Gerson. Looking for Raducioiu's run. Gerson, Maialaro can turn here. He doesn't get too many goals, Pietro Maialaro, but the ones he does collect are often spectacular. And you sensed another one on the way then, as the ball sat up for him. I must say, hasn't looked particularly happy since he's come on. Just let that run off his body back to the goalkeeper, which isn't the textbook method. Dangerous play by Careca, and what's going to be the reaction here? It was a foot raised. Looking at the ball, and then Carrera trying to deal with it chest height and finding the studs were showing. And it's a yellow card. But Careca was seemingly suggesting to Makopi, perhaps, that it was Makopi's reaction that made the referee take that decision. The match has reached its three-quarter point. Napoli leading by 1-0, but the cautions at 2 yellow cards apiece. Maradona, Careca. Losing out to Terracinere, and here's Raducioiu. Is this the equaliser? It might still be. Oh, Lossetto's missed his kick. Gianpaolo tries to place it in. And Napoli will rarely be more fortunate to survive. Galli did well to make the first save, but Lossetto, a defender, finding himself in the centre, and that really showed. He panicked, waved the foot at it, totally missed the ball, and Gianpaolo was as tentative with his final effort as he had been with the penalty. I don't really want to see the foul again. I'd much rather see the previous incident, but maybe we're not going to get that. Bari in danger of beating themselves here. It's a match. If they lose, they will feel very frustrated with the outcome. Maialaro, but they haven't lost it yet. Won fairly by Careca. Maradona. Crippa coming not quite as strongly as usual. Carrera was there for Bari. Zola. Maro. It was an inevitable outcome. It's not just a of course, the lack of speed in Maradona's case, but his sheer lack of match fitness. He started to come across towards the free kick and then felt it was perhaps not worth the effort. He stays in the centre. The second goal here would mean certain victory for Napoli. Maradona's head. In fact, he apologised to Franchini, I think, for taking it on, and was gesturing there that he could have got a bit more power into it. So it is an effort at goal from him. But these days, they're rare ones. His 5 league goals this season, we've stressed this point before, all penalties. Venturin's throw. Mauro. Rossetto doing the chasing. Oh, and Corradini caught out. And here come Bari again with Gianpaolo, who's playing it in early to Soda. Zola. Bari still have plenty of players back. There's no offside. Correca linking up with Venturin. It's a corner. Far fewer grounds for complaint for the entertainment on offer in the second half. Really, from the moment that the penalty was conceded, particularly from the time Zola headed Napoli into the lead with the only goal of the game, Bari have had the greater number of corners and the better chances. 5 minutes to go. Maradona gives it up. And the fellow defenders know their responsibilities now. It's a Napoli free kick, I think, given against Soda. The referee hasn't missed much in the way of fouls. That could be possibly a backhanded compliment. It's been a staccato sort of match. But he hasn't been fooled by the players, that's for sure. It's the first time I've seen the Graziano Cesare refereeing. He'd be close to man of the match today. Not too many other candidates about. Maelaro. Now, what can Bari muster in the centre if the cross comes in? Which it does. Napoli, without too much panic, cope well enough. Mauro. 3 minutes to go. By and large, it's been played in a pretty good spirit between two teams that at the start of the season you would never have backed to be side by side in the league table. But Napoli winning this by a nose, really. Mauro. Gerson getting in the way rather clumsily. time not on Bari's side. Good defending by Carrera, although the pass was seized upon by Crippa. Maradona, is there going to be a flourish here in the finale from Napoli? It was handball, surely, by Francini. Mailaro. The crowd urging the referee to end the game. On my watch, there's still a little more than a minute to go, and any sort of stoppage time is matched by the official television clock here. Galli's had a good afternoon. The goalkeeper with 19 caps for Italy. If you're watching Napoli for the first time this season, I think you can see why they haven't been able to challenge to retain their championship. The shortcomings are there in many areas, and while Maradona remains at the club, it's going to be hard to rebuild it. I'm sure that's what Maradona wants everyone to believe as well, so that will facilitate his release from a contract that runs until 1993. Last chance perhaps for Bari from the long throw. Soda. Renica gets plenty of height to it. Terracineri puts it back in again, headed away by Crippa. Gerson. Again the Neapolitan supporters beseeching the referee to end it. But Bari are going to get another free kick in stoppage time. And it's going to be a booking for Crippa. Look at that, how he can protest that shouldn't be awarded as a foul. Only he will know. Really should have been booked for the foul and sent off for the protest. Two-footed tackle, very damaging. And still the nerves are jangling for Napoli, but not for Galli, who has looked very cool. Winning was what it was all about for Napoli today. They've done it through Zola's header, made magnificently by Maradona in his only meaningful contribution of the afternoon. Bari missed the penalty before the goal, had a great chance to equalise when Galli saved from Raducioiu, who retrieved it across when Losetto was left with an open goal and completely missed his kick. And they will be frustrated that they go away from Naples with nothing to show. Napoli have their 7th win of the season. They're climbing the table, and we'll have to wait and see. They might even have got into the top half. They've beaten Bari here by 1-0.